So welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go over the weighted moving averages method to forecast time series. Now I have to be honest with you, once again, I am not a big fan of weighted moving averages. Let me do this first and then I'll explain my displeasure with this particular methodology. So what you want to do here is assign weights. So just so we're clear, this is on page 752 to 753. I'll do the example that's in the book so that you have a reference to go through, right? When you're watching the videos or going through the book, you know, you can reference either one. But the idea here is you want to set weights. So what this example does is it sets, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a weighted average of the last 3 periods, right, to forecast the next period, all right? So this is different. So what we had done in the previous video is we just used a moving average. Well, if you think about it, an average, by definition, assumes that every week is equally weighted. So what we're going to do now is assume that for whatever reason, these weeks should have different weights. So what they do in time period T, we say the weight is 3/6. So just take 3 divided by 6. And then in time period T minus 1, the weight was 2/6. Oops, I got to get that right. 2/6. And then in time period T minus 2, the weight was, oops, got to hit the equal sign, 1 divided by 6. Okay? And the only qualification on the weights are as follows. They must all be between 0 and 1, and they all must sum to 1. So to make sure that I'm correct, just sum these, and voila, yay for me. These are perfectly valid weights. They're all between 0 and 1, and they sum to 1, so yay. Okay, so now we have to use this information, and let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, now we have to use this information to calculate our forecast. So this is our weighted, I don't think I spelled that right, yeah. Weighted average forecast. Okay, and again, since we're going to use the previous 3 periods, I can only start in period 4. So the way you want to set this up is as follows. So I'll take the previous period, multiply it by its weight, add to it the T minus 1 period, and multiplied by its weight, and then the T minus 2 period multiplied by its weight, right? And I want to copy this down, so what you're going to want to do is anchor your weight. So I'm going to put an anchor here, here, and here. And now, if I copy that down, check this out. Right now, the forecast for period 12 is 15 times 50%, 20 times 33%, 22 times 17%, and presto, here are my weighted average forecasts for my data. Okay, well, you know, I'll try to go through this quickly, but now that I have my forecast, now I start calculating all of my accuracy measures. And again, I'm just going to start off with the absolute value of the forecast error. Right, so, absolute value, I'm losing my concentration. So the absolute value of actual minus the forecast. Down, and then calculate my averages down here, average. So here's the average, All right, 2.9, fair enough. And then I have my squared forecast error. So that equals this number squared. copy that down. I'm just going to copy this over. Let's make our life a little bit easier. And then, of course, I like to take the square root of this. .3, and then finally the absolute value of my percent error. There we go. So my percent error is ABS of ABS forecast error divide. Whoa, gotta hit the equal sign. My bad. Gotta hit the equal sign. The ABS of the forecast error divided by actual sales. Go. Okay, and then let's just calculate the average of that. Okay, so presto, here are my averages. You can calculate your bounds, so on and so forth. Okay, now, so, okay, this is all fine and dandy, but, you know, again, the problem here, at least in my mind, and your book talks about this, actually, you know, what should the weights be? And then not only what should the weights be, but how many time periods should you go back? That's not clear. And again, the only way to find the best one is just to do this trial and error method. And that seems very discomforting to me, to use a trial and error method to find the best forecast. Secondly, I go back to just using the full average, right? Because here I'm including all of my actual data. And then secondly, it's not clear to me that I should assign different weights to different weeks. You know, I don't know what to say. That's just, I'm not sure what the reason would be, right? And so as a result, my whole point is, as a result, I am a big fan of just calculating that average, which we did, you know, 2 videos ago. Just use the average method. There's no trial and error there. You're using all of your data. You don't have to make assumptions. You know, why am I only going back 3 periods? Why are my weights the way they are? Why shouldn't you go back 6 periods and have different weights? And oh Lord, it just gets complicated, right? And there's no reason for it. So, again, not a big fan of the weighted average forecast. All right, so one more video for this week, and then we're going to be done. And yes, we're going to do exponential smoothing. And yes, this is a forecast methodology that I actually like. So I'm not a complete curmudgeon. I do happen to like a few of these methodologies.